you've made it to Module 6. So we've talked a lot about debt and about what it is and what we've done to get into debt, good and bad debt, all these things about debt. Now, how do we get out of debt? The very first step to realizing how we get out of debt is budgeting. You have to have a budget. And I know it might seem common sense, like, okay, I know I bring in about this much and I know I have this much that goes out. I know I'm in the negative in my checking account. No, just walk through these steps with me and let's really figure out a budget together per day, how much you have to spend down to $1, down to $1 for a cup of coffee. How much do you have to spend per day? All right, so step 1 in budgeting, calculate your take-home income. I want you to take your paycheck, not your gross salary. I want to know how much on average per month that you take home into your bank, what goes into your bank account net of the taxes being taken out, of retirement plan distributions that might be deducted, whatever, out of your paycheck. What comes home? What is net in income? Okay? And then you could even take this one step further and you could get really advanced and take the number of days in a month and take how much you take home in income and divide it by the number of days per month. So for instance, if you take home $2,000 in a month, divide that by, say, 30 days or whatever the amount of days are in the month. That is how much per day you have in income. And this is not the amount that you get to spend. We're not there yet. We're going to deduct our expenses in a minute. But this just gives you an awareness of how much cash flow you have, not only for a month, but for a day, how much income you've got coming in the door. Okay, step 2, we calculate our fixed expenses. Fixed meaning it's the same amount, it's predictable, it's around the same amount every month, and these are the expenses that you need to survive. So, your mortgage is usually fixed. Your car payment is usually fixed. Your insurances that you have to have are usually fixed. So like your health insurance, your car insurance, your homeowner's insurances, homeowners association dues, things like this that are all fixed and predictable every month that you have to pay in order to stay in your home, essentially. That you have to pay to survive. Now, variable expenses, so don't get mixed up fixed and variable. I know that sounds like, oh, how can I get that mixed up? But sometimes you can convince yourself that something is fixed just because it is recurring. But I want you to have a clear difference between your fixed, because the amount is predictable and the same every payment period, every annual, every year, every month, whatever the payment period is, versus variable. Variable is what you need to survive, but it's flexible. So things like your energy bill, different amount every month, but you have to turn on the lights. Your water bill, your utilities bill, again, different amount every month. It could be double one month and not the next, but you need to have water to survive. So that's, again, a variable expense, but something that you have to pay that's recurring. So we've taken our income, we've now deducted our fixed expenses, we've now deducted our variable expenses. Now I want you to take money every paycheck for savings. A big key, and we'll get into this in the very last module, how to stay out of debt, but a big key to staying out of debt is having savings. And how can you build up a savings if you don't make it a priority? Things will happen in life. Emergencies will happen. If you somehow have nothing ever come up unexpected in your life, I think you're an anomaly. I don't think that's possible. So you have to just prepare for this, right? Let's just get ahead of it. It's just a smart financial practice. If you want to get ahead in life, you have to have a savings. So we now deduct 10% of that number, of whatever is left over after we took our income minus fixed expenses, minus variable expenses, whatever's left over. Take 10% of that number and put it in a savings account. Call it whatever. Call it your savings, call it your emergency account, call it your cushion, whatever the reason. This is not for a vacation. This is not for that trip you wanted to take for your kids, for a, whatever it is. It's not for leisure. This is for emergencies that come up unexpectedly. Your car window breaks or whatever. 10% of that leftover number every pay period into a savings account. Now, once we've taken our income minus our fixed, minus our variable, minus our cushion, what's left over is called your discretionary income, or the money that you have left over to spend. But we're not done yet. We're not going to spend all of our discretionary income, right? This is where you can take money before you spend and put it towards your principal down on your debt. This is where in your budget is so powerful, because you really see, oh, did I really need that cup of coffee? Did I really need that trip to McDonald's? I mean, I love McDonald's. I think everybody loves fast food. But it is expensive in comparison to a loaf of bread and a jar of jelly. It is expensive. It is a luxury to eat out fast food. As cheap as it may seem, one meal at $7 or $8 or whatever it is more expensive than groceries. So I need you to understand that this chunk of money, this discretionary money, is money you are spending. Again, whether it be on cheap trips out to fast food, or just that coffee or that Red Bull at the gas station or whatever, this is money you're spending. So you need to take a hard look at that number and say, oh, wow, maybe I didn't need that. Maybe I didn't need that because I already covered everything I actually need. I didn't need to get my nails done. I didn't need to get my hair done. Whatever it is, this is money you're spending. So take that chunk of money, and now you can take money from here. And in our next module, we'll talk about getting out of debt. This is where the money comes from, to pay down extra money on your debt, to get out of debt, not just maintain, not just manage. We're going to rise above that, and we're going to get out of debt. Use your budget as a powerful tool to show yourself how much you need to bite the bullet for right now if you really want to get ahead and get out of this hole, and stop feeling just like you're dreading the mail or dreading that phone call of a debt collector. Stop feeling that way, and let's get ahead. This is how we do it, and it's going to be a short period of time that you're going to have to just bite the bullet and not spend. Take this money and apply it towards your debt, and in the next module we'll talk about how.